Who's a tornado dog? Sit. Oi, go. Oi, more passion, more passion, more passion, more energy, more energy, more footwork, more footwork, more footwork, more passion, more. Zoom, zoom, I'm zooming in my room. My zoom is up forever. My zoom is all together. Zoom, 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 zoom. I'm zooming over there. I'm zooming.
Why are your legs like that?
"我是如此相信，在背后支撑的。”又打我吧。
Oh shit！
我操，他直接
哦，
好凶哦！
对呀、
来了，你看来了。 Chili. Hi.
They always said you should think twice. I don't even think once.
Ballerina cappuccina. Mi. È la moglie di Cappuccino Assassino e ama la musica.
There it is, buddy. Get the treat. It's right there.
Dear my beloved audiences, today I want to tell you a story which is called Frost and Flame. In the vast, snow-covered valleys of Iceland, where glaciers met black sand and the northern lights danced like spirits across the sky, lived a dog named Vatur. His name meant winter in Icelandic, and he had earned it. Not just because he had been born in the heart of a December storm, but because he seemed carved from winter itself. His fur was thick and silver, with hints of icy blue under the right light. His eyes, a mismatched pair of storm gray and glacier blue, gave him an almost mythical appearance. Vatur belonged to an old sheep farmer named Bjorn, who lived alone in a turf-roof cottage nestled in a valley near the village of Vik. Bjorn had raised sheep all his life, following in the footsteps of his father and grandfather. Winters were hard in southern Iceland, but Bjorn had never minded the cold, until recent years when age had slowed his hands and stiffened his bones. That was when Vatur became more than just a companion. He was Bjorn's eyes, ears, and strength on the mountain. Each morning, even in the darkest winter months, Vatur would wait by the door as Bjorn pulled on his thick wool sweater, heavy boots, and sealskin gloves. Together, they would walk into the biting wind, Vatur trotting ahead, nose to the ground, tracking sheep that had wandered from the fold. The land was dangerous. Hidden crevasses, sudden storms, volcanic ground that steamed beneath the snow. But Vatur moved with the sure-footedness of a creature born to this wild land. One evening in early March, as twilight painted the sky in lavender and pink, Bjorn noticed that one of his pregnant ewes, Freya, was missing. The sheep had always been a bit independent, but now, so close to birthing, her absence was alarming. Bjorn knew he couldn't wait until morning. "Go find her," Bjorn said softly, kneeling beside Vatur and brushing snow from his ears. "Find Freya." Vatur barked once and darted into the wind, nose low. Bjorn followed, leaning on his staff. The snow grew heavier as they climbed, and the wind howled through the mountains like a chorus of ghosts. They searched for nearly an hour, Vatur zigzagging across the slope, before he stopped and barked twice, his signal that he'd found something. Bjorn pushed forward and saw Freya lying under the protection of a rocky outcrop, trembling, her sides heaving. She was going into labor, and the storm was worsening. Bjorn knelt beside her, cursing his old hands as he tried to help. The lamb was coming breech, and the ewe was too weak to deliver on her own. His fingers were numb, and visibility dropped as snow began to whip sideways. Then, without command, Vatur stepped forward. He pressed close to the ewe, lying beside her to share warmth. His body curled protectively around both her and the newborn lamb when it finally came. Bjorn worked quickly, cutting the umbilical cord and drying the tiny creature with his scarf. The trek back was impossible now. The storm had swallowed the trail. Bjorn knew they would have to shelter until morning. He pulled Freya and the lamb into the small space under the rocks, huddling beside them. Vautour lay across them all, a living shield against the cold. That night, the storm screamed through the mountains. Bjorn didn't sleep, but he watched as Vautour stayed awake, vigilant, his eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. Once, Bjorn thought he saw something strange, an aurora pulse overhead, and for just a second, Vautour looked less like a dog and more like something older, wilder, a guardian of the north. When dawn broke, the storm had passed. The valley below glittered with fresh snow. Freya stood shakily, the lamb nuzzling at her side. Bjorn, exhausted and aching, leaned on Vautour for support as they descended. News of their night in the mountains spread through Vik. The villagers who had always thought of Vautour as just a good sheepdog began to speak of him differently. Children whispered stories about the frost-eyed dog who defied the storm. Elders nodded slowly and said there were tales, old ones, of spirit animals who protected the people in harsh lands. As the years passed, Vautour aged, but slower than any dog should have. His muzzle never turned white, and his steps never faltered. Bjorn grew older, slower, but he never felt alone. Vautour was always there, watching, waiting, guarding. On Bjorn's final winter, when he could no longer leave the house, Vautour stayed by the hearth, though his eyes always drifted toward the door, as if listening for the wind outside. One night, as the northern lights danced more vividly than they had in decades, Bjorn passed quietly in his sleep. Vautour sat beside him until morning. When the villagers came to pay respects, they found the fire still burning, Bjorn peaceful, and Vautour gone. Some say they saw a silver figure running toward the mountains that night, faster than any living creature. Others say he returned to where he came from, born of snow, spirit, and silence. But every winter since, when storms roll in and shepherds fear for their flocks, a silver dog is sometimes seen in the distance, guiding lost sheep, leading wanderers home, or standing silently beneath the aurora. They call him the Winter Watcher now, and children in Vik leave bones and bits of dried fish on their doorsteps during the darkest nights. And though the snow always returns, so does hope. For as long as Vautour roams the mountains, Iceland will never truly freeze over. If you like this video, please leave a like and a subscribe. It will really help our channel grow. But if you don't like it, then just skip it and don't forget to check out our other videos. Thank you very much and goodbye.